Hi, my name is Ryan Schaefer, submitted the laureate at Lourdes University College of Business and Leadership for 4 credit hours. This is my BUS 340 fall semester of 22 final internship presentation. So a little bit about me. My name is Ryan Schaefer, obviously. I did my internship through Edge2Edge Painting, and my title was Project Manager Intern. As you can see in the photo, I play lacrosse here at Lourdes. I'm from Frederick, Maryland, and I'm coming up on my last semester as a senior majoring in sports management. So a little bit about Edge2Edge painting. So our mission statement or objective is we provide high quality services at competitive prices to clients in the Northwest Ohio area. As a qualified service provider since 2020, we have the necessary skills and experience to tackle anything that comes our way. And then a little bit about our employee character, which I'll talk about the employees more, but we are professional, have high ethical and moral values. We work with a sense of urgency and want nothing but the best for the customer to be highly satisfied, or we will redo it. So more about Edge2Edge. Like I said, it's a painting company, full service, interior, exterior, fresh drywall, doors, trimming, cabinets, banisters. We'll do pretty much if you can paint it, we'll do it. If there's wallpaper, we'll take it down, paint over it. The owner, as well as my supervisor, was Kyle Scheel. Then Nick Gillen was the head project manager. And then our annual sales to date is $75,000 in 2022. What my role was. So the photo is of Outback Steakhouse. About a month and a half ago, we got the opportunity. They contacted us and they needed someone to paint their whole exterior. So, of course, we jumped on it. We thought that was a great opportunity to get out in the restaurants as it was the first one we've ever done. And that was a great experience. We had to be a little bit flexible around their schedule. So obviously they didn't want a bunch of people trying to have a nice dinner while we're outside painting and walking around stuff. So we had to come early mornings and get in and get out and clean up after ourselves really well. So that was definitely fun, but challenging. So my role was to manage and run a crew. I was given my own crew, so I pretty much got to be their leader, be their supervisor. So we'd go into houses and I would show up 20 minutes early, 30 minutes early, walk around with the homeowner or client, make sure the plan was still the plan. They still wanted these walls, this color. They liked the color we selected. And then when my crew showed up, I would do a full walk around with them and make sure they knew exactly what to paint, what not to paint, what colors. And then from there, I knew the strengths of my crew after getting to know them and bonding with them. So I knew who was the better at edging, who's better at just rolling. So we would split up, divide and conquer, and get done as quick as we could. The next, another role was estimating. I did a lot of estimates and quotes. People would call all the time asking for a free estimate or see one of our flyers and give a free estimate or quote. So I would go house to house, driving all over Ohio, a little bit into Michigan, measuring the dimensions of the wall, the type of wall, whether we're going to have to prime it first if it's fresh drywall and then paint it, and then also estimate how many gallons of paint we would need. And then that would all go into the total of the final quote that I would then give them. I would answer questions and concerns. I would get calls all the time. What all do you guys do? Do you guys paint exterior? Do you guys paint interior? Do you do this? Do you do that? So I was always on the phones answering any questions, or if someone thinks they see something wrong with an old paint job, a lot of times it's just a shadow or something, or where the light's hitting it, so it makes it funky. I marketed. I did a little bit of marketing. If I'm in a neighborhood and my crew's cranking out the work, I'd go knock on some doors in the neighborhood, pass out flyers. We had little 2x6 flyers that said our company, everything, what we did. I passed those out, put up yard signs or anything like that in previous customers' homes. And then, like I said, with answering questions, customer service, it was huge. Like I said, I would always show up early, make sure they were happy, talk to them throughout the process, make sure they like how it looks, have any questions or anything, answer them. So I was constantly talking with the homeowners to ensure that everything looks good. And also during the process, you put on the first coat, the customer's always calling you or saying, that doesn't look very good. What's going on? Why is it weird? And I'm like, just calm down, let us finish. And then if you have anything, because That was our biggest pet peeve is customers coming up to us when it's not finished saying, why does this look like this? I'm like, just let us finish and then you can see. So my learning experience. Leadership was the biggest thing. I was given a crew basically, and I had to lead them. And from my previous courses, especially my business leadership and what makes a leader, I learned about all about leadership. And I learned that in order to be a good leader, you have to gain their trust and you have to get like fit in and gain their trust. So I was able to bond with them. We went out a couple of times, had some food, was able to connect with them, talk about sports and other stuff outside of just work. So I was able to gain a good bond and a friendship with these guys. So then they respected me and allowed me to be their leader. And I wasn't just someone that's like, you do this, you do that. I wouldn't ask them to do anything they wouldn't do. So they respected me. And that was great. Another learning experience was small business operations. I was able to see Cal took me firsthand under his wing and let me see literally everything he does and how he runs it and how he's been so successful over these 2 years plus. So he allowed me to see everything because I would like to start one up eventually, though it might not be in a painting, but I did like to be able to see everything that goes into it, whether it's hiring, firing, talking to customers, dealing with any issue, even dealing with a broken down van. That happened to us. We were going to a job site. Our van broke down. So I was able to see a lot of the operations and everything that went on with it. Another experience was time management. That was huge. You got to learn how to manage your time. I wasn't just managing my crews, as well as Kyle and my other supervisor, Nick, because if I'm on the phone trying to schedule an appointment with an estimate, I'm not the only one that gives estimates and quotes. Kyle and Nick both do. So if I couldn't do it and that homeowner can only do it that day, I'd have to talk to them, find their schedule. So I would manage time all around, make sure everything was going good. Another thing I learned was negotiation training. So you got to learn that sometimes they don't like the price. Sometimes another company quoted them $100 cheaper, and they tell you that. So then you negotiate. You got to see okay, we could do 150 because we obviously want their business, but we also want to give them the best deal. So we always negotiate whether you want one coat of paint, two coats, the best kind of paint. If they want the cheaper paint, but we truly think the cheaper paint will not be good outside, we're going to tell them that and try to negotiate and help them out too, best price wise and outcome wise. Adapting and overcoming, that was huge. You always run into problems. Some of the big ones, pulling off wallpaper and just the glue that's on the wallpaper rips off part of the wall. So you always have to be on your toes and be able to adapt and overcome. And in my international business class that I'm in right now, on the very first day of class, my teacher said there's 3 rules in life you should never forget. Number one is tune in. So always be paying attention. Number two is change is the only constant. And that's so true with adapting and being able to overcome. I mean, there's always change. There was always change, whether it's someone won't be home this day, so we can't get into their house, or this paint's out of stock for the moment, so we have to wait a week to do someone else's house. So we were always changing, and that was the only. I mean, we were always just ready for it and overcoming it. And then the third rule he taught us was don't burn bridges, and that's big for the last bullet part that I was able to learn was to develop and maintain business relationships. I was able to see firsthand how important it was to have a relationship with the customer. You don't need like to be best friends. You just got to talk to them, be friendly. They'll tell you a little bit about themselves typically. You tell them about yours. And then who knows, somewhere down the line, they can end up being a boss or a CEO at a job you're applying for. And now they're like, oh, yeah, I remember you. They were awesome. They painted my house. And so you always need to develop and maintain good relationships, be respectful in a stranger's house. You obviously want to clean up after yourself and do everything just to make sure the customer is happy. So that was huge to see and like firsthand have people that I was able to make good relationships with that then their friend 2 days later calls me and says, hey, my buddy told me at work that you guys did a great job and we're awesome. Can you come quote my house? So that was so crucial. That happened a couple times, and that was great to see that they're pretty much marketing for you by just talking about you and or on social media or anything. So a little bit of exposure I was able to get. Obviously, I said a firsthand look on a small business. I was able to see everything he let me look at the payroll. He let me help figure that out. He let me literally do everything. So I was like his right hand man for a while, that I was able to see how he did it and everything that goes into it, because it's not easy. Like I talked about, the customer service. I mean, that's a huge part. Uh, you just need it. You got to build those bonds with those customers and make sure they're happy. Management, along with management, you also need communication. I mean, that's huge. You got to manage your time because, for example, this photo on the left, we got a call on Sunday night, and they go, "We are having people over next weekend. We love our basement done. Can you help us out?" And we were like, us. We had a full schedule that week. We were able to call, change some stuff, and we went in and did this basement, sprayed it with the black ceiling within 24 hours, and get it done by Monday. So they were all set for the weekend, which you just got to manage and communicate. I mean, communication is huge. We were able to now this actual basement, we are now doing their full interior upstairs. So we show good customer service. They usually show it back. They'll help us out and be respectful. So it was awesome to see. And then I also got exposed to Excel, Word, and Outlook even more than I already have. He let me, like I said, he let me look at the payroll, do it for a couple of weeks, show me how it was done. So I feel more influenced with that. Also with Word, we typed up the contracts, and then even Outlook with communication, like I talked about how important it is. And then lastly was the work atmosphere and attitude. I know in my business communication class, it talked about how important work atmosphere and attitude truly was. Because if you're not doing what you love, why are you doing it? And so it was amazing to see that all the employees and everyone was so happy to work, and always never complaining and always ready to just get the job on and move on to the next. So that was crucial. And I love seeing it. So in conclusion, Edge2Edge Painting is a great company to work for. I enjoyed every second of it, as they always strive to exceed the customer's expectations. If we don't, we'll go back, fix anything, change a color if they don't like it. I've painted full walls and they go, "Yeah, we don't really like that wall, that color." So you got to be able to adapt, overcome. Great friendly employees that make you want to go into work. Like I said, how great they were. They were always happy, joking around, never miserable, always got the work done and moved on. So it was awesome. And then my advice to someone would be to be a sponge in life. Absorb everything everyone ever talks about and tries to tell you, because you never know down the line how important it'll be, because there's so much information these days just fed into you. So just be a sponge and absorb it all. And then lastly, never settle. Always want the best, always keep moving forward. Look what the next thing is, and you will be successful. So my references, I'd like to thank Kyle Scheel, obviously, taking me under his wing and allowing me to do my internship through him. Then Nick Gillen, all my coworkers that made my time great and it was awesome. And then Edge2Edge Painting. I'd like to thank you so much.